Hello, content creator. Welcome to this video where I'm going to teach you how to use Notion in 15 minutes. I know that Notion is trending right now. Everyone is talking about how cool it is, but it can also be very overwhelming. So the idea for these 15 minutes is to just see what is possible with it and to learn how to use the basics. This is how my own Notion looks like when I open it. We have this panel on the left side, and then on the right side, we always have one of our pages open. So these are all the pages that I have. You can think of it as just different documents. There is one that is really important to me, which is my business headquarters. It's a very simple page where I have all of the information organized as I like it. It's very minimalistic, and then everything marketing related is in here. I do a lot of self-development, so I have my mindset stuff over here as well. And I love learning, so I have all of my learnings from the different trainings that I take. I have a lot of different information. Now, this is the central page for me because I find it really hard to find things here in the sidebar. You could do the same if you have the right hierarchy on here. For example, if I click on this arrow right here, you can see that I see all of these pages that I see in here. You could have one marketing page, and then when you click and you see something like this. This is up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to teach you how to create a business headquarters like this so that you can start organizing your Notion. And this is really, really easy. So let's say I create a new page, and this will be a new business headquarters. Yeah. And then you will see that this page, if we scroll to the very, very bottom, we have it. Just scroll, we have it over here. Now, this will be my business headquarters. So I want it to be top of this sidebar. So I'm going to add it to favorites. And then you will see that it's there. And that is amazing because this will be the page where we will find all of our information. Now, you can just start typing here, and this works fine, right? But to fully use all the benefits that Notion gives us, we can just transform this text into something else. So if I highlight that, I see this panel over here, and then you see this turn into. I'm going to click in there, and then I have this panel. I know this can be overwhelming. You don't need to know what each of these things mean. The important thing is to just learn a few of them that are really useful to you, and then you can learn little by little more of this. Now, the headings will give you the different format for the title. So if I click heading 1, let's say this is heading 1, and then this is heading 2. Again, I'll do the same procedure. Just click on heading 2, and heading 3 will be just bold and kind of small, and this is like the regular text. Now, you see that this starts to have a nice hierarchy that we can easily understand. So, for instance, we have our essentials, as I call it. And these are the things that you look at every day. You could start adding your data here. The thing is that it will start growing and becoming too long, and all the information will be in here. And then it'll be really hard to find the information that you want. And we wanted to make it as easy as possible to find information in Notion. That's why we're using it. So we can just do the slash, and you don't need to do the slash if it's uncomfortable to you. So if you hover on the left side of this block, each of these is called a block. If you hover, you will see this plus, and when you click on it, you see the same panel that we saw before. So that is one option. My preferred way to go to this bar is with the slash, because I do things faster just by using the keyboard, but this is up to you. Now, we're going to add a new page, and you have two options here. If you have already created a page, you click on link to page. So if we do that, it will give us in here all the pages that we already have, and then we can go to them. So I will just select, for instance, the morning routine, and then I have it here. When I click on it, it will take me to the morning routine, which is amazing. And the other option is to create a new page. And we do that by clicking the page instead of the link to page. And when we do that, it redirects us to the new page. So let's say this will be our to-dos or task list, as you prefer to call it. We will click on the new business headquarters again, and we're back to this page, and see what happened in here. We added a new task list, and we see it here. And when we click, we are in this task list. So here you would want to have, for instance, a to-do. And if you type /to-do instead of just clicking on the slash and scrolling until you find the to-do, I prefer to just type to-do, and then you can see the to-do. So when I click it, I have this task 1, task 2, and the good thing about it is that I can just click, so the task is done. And if I made a mistake, or maybe this was done but the scope increased and now it's not done anymore, we can just uncheck it. So this is a really easy way to manage your to-do list, your tasks in Notion. I've got a bunch of more complicated templates, and some of them are really easy. For instance, this one, every time you click on add new priorities for the day, it adds this block, which is very similar to what we did, but with one more layer of automation. So if you're interested in checking these templates, just go to templates.roxanalafuente.com. Now let's continue with our tutorial. So this is looking a little bit better, but it's still not as neat as what we had here. This is what we're trying to build. So let's go back to our new business headquarters. Here, we could do the same, and we could add, for instance, marketing. And let's turn this into heading 1, and then we will link to page. I already have a ton of these pages created. That's why I can link to page. But in your case, you can simply just create a new page. So let's do marketing. And then you could choose, for instance, okay, I cannot find, let's say market research. So market research, it's part of the marketing. So it's in here. And you see that we have all this white space in here. I personally don't like that. And then also we have a ton of white space. It's only using the full page. So what we can do is to go to these 3 dots here and then click on the full width. And now it's using the page even more. And we could even close the sidebar for now. And if you go to the left, it will appear. And now we see we have all of this blank space that we could utilize. So there is something else that we can add, which is the column. So here it's up to you. For me, with 2 free columns, it's okay. If you want more, you could definitely do that. Let's just add 2 columns for now. Okay, so we added the 2 columns and we have them here. I will just drag and drop each element to each of the columns. And then we had this are the task list. This is the morning routine. And then this is the market research. And let's just delete this text that we have. Okay, not the whole block, just like this. And see how this starts to look like what we had in here. Of course, I have a ton more documents in here, But if we keep repeating this process and changing from 2 columns to 3, for instance, like here, we will achieve the same result. Now, you see, I have this icon over here. Let me just go to the new business headquarters again, and you can click add icon. And yeah, let's just choose any of these. It doesn't really matter. And something else that you can do in case you don't like this type of emojis, you could use the icons and you could even upload your own. Same happens with the cover. You can add a cover and it will automatically generate something for you, but you can change the cover and you can, of course, upload an image of your own, or you can search for something on Unsplash. So for instance, let's just do this one, for example. Okay, it's cooking. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing here, but let's just reposition. The image isn't important at this point. It's just to teach you what is possible. Okay, so having everything organized is the step one, but what are we organizing? So there are tons of things you could do. For instance, we could create a new page, and I'm going to call this Content Insights. And this could be just inspiration that I have from different posts that I see. So let's say that I'm doing market research and I do like one of these posts. For instance, let's say I like this one. And then what I do is I take a picture and then I could simply paste and I see the image here. Of course, once it's uploaded, you are able to make it smaller because this is like too much. And you could add like something about what you liked. You could even add Instagram from the person. So let's copy the link and I could just paste it in here. And this, when you paste a link, there are different ways that you can do it. For instance, just the mention, and then you see something like this. Or we could paste it as a bookmark and we see it like this. For me, I prefer the first option. I'm going to delete the rest. And now there are different ways I could do it. I could have just the name of the account and all the posts that I like, or I could have different columns again. So let's add 2 columns and I'm going to move the image to the column. You can see that here, this blue bar, it's occupying the full width. And then if I move it a little bit above, then it's just occupying the column that's what we want. So I'm going to do the same by drag and dropping this. So isn't this cool how we can create a content inspiration board, maybe just some inspiration for a specific post, or even something more complex like just analyzing why we think this performed well or didn't perform well. We always have a navigation bar here at the top left. So if I click on the new business headquarters, I just come back here and you see just as before that the content insights page is here. And if I want to add icons, I can just do, for example, a photo, because this reminds me of Instagram. And then it starts having the icons that you want it to have. So this is the Notion for content creators in 15 minutes. We've covered how to organize your content, how Notion looks like, how to create new pages, how to organize the content inspiration, and even how to handle your tasks very easily. So my name is Roxana Lafuente. It was a pleasure to guide you until we meet again in the next video.